Our next question comes from Dawn. Dawn wants to know, how can one naturally control and eliminate various fungus problems such as toenail fungus and skin fungus like ringworm? Dawn, this is such a great question because there are a lot of individuals that suffer from toenail fungus or darkening of their toenail, or maybe there's a little thickening to the nail itself, or there's ridges, or they're experiencing fungus on other areas of the body, very common places on the scalp as well. And then ringworm is a very, very common condition. So first, I just want to kind of affirm that these are normal indicators that your body's immune state is not optimized. So before you kind of get really frustrated with the fact that you have this, it's never going to resolve, there are ways to naturally address fungal situations. And there's really two parts to it. So first, I want to look at the topical approach, and then we'll dig into it via internal, because those two have to work together. So topically, Dawn, what I recommend is we have to balance the pH of your skin. And this is where it gets really tricky. Fungus will live in an environment that is less ideal to our normal pH level. And it's a scenario where it's in this environment that it really likes, and it can then, there's culturing and it grows, and it can very well take root and be hard to resolve. In some cases, we're looking at resolving really intense toenail fungus, whereas maybe the big nail or multiple nails on both feet, then we're going to be looking at a situation that we're going to be doing these daily activities of topical care for months on end. So don't give up if after a month and a half or 2 months, you're not seeing any quick fixes or magical restoration of the nail. The body works on its own time. So let's dig into some topical recommendations. The first, most important thing you want to do is to grab a big bottle of apple cider vinegar. And what I recommend is for you to get what we call the mother. That's the kind of particles of the apple that are floating, a sediment that'll be at the bottom of the bottle. You want a murky bottle. If you shake it up, you want it to look really kind of dark orange. That is the best apple cider vinegar. It's going to be potent in all of the pH balancing, but also some of the nutrients needed to create an environment and a culture where your toenail fungus wants to flee and evacuate. So what we want to do is you want to do several things topically, depending on the size of the nail and the scope of the fungal infection. Is you can either topically add a little apple cider vinegar to a cotton ball and swab the whole toenail, or you can soak your feet in a small warm water bath of about a cup or 2 of apple cider vinegar with a cup or 2, so equal parts, of Epsom salt. And the other thing I recommend is to use tea tree oil. And Organixx has an awesome tea tree oil that you can add into the water. And you can also cleanse your feet with colloidal soap, colloidal silver soap. So what we're doing topically every day is we are managing the pH and the environment that is creating the home, if you will, for the fungus. What we're trying to do is to evacuate them. We're trying to evict the fungus from the topical area, the skin, and that environment. By changing the pH and working on this every day, what you're doing is you're limiting the current growth. So you're trying to kill and stave off any additional growth or spread, because if you have toenail fungus on one nail and you're wearing different shoes, the likelihood of it spreading is great. Now, the other thing, topical care is just not for the toenails themselves, but you also want to use a little spray combined combo of water, a few drops of apple cider vinegar, and 1 drop of tea tree oil. You want to spray that in your shoes where the toe beds are, especially closed-toed shoes. So sneakers you want to routinely wash. If you're wearing flip-flops, you want to just spray the bottom of the foot, the foot pad of the flip-flop. And then any of your high heels or work boots, you want to spray those as often as you can. Daily is ideal. So internally, the next pairing is to really focus on healing the environment inside your body, in your gut, that is creating an environment where this fungus is growing. And what is most important to understand with our digestive process, our gut healing. Our gut balance is directly related to the pH level of our skin. So if we have a healthy gut flora, gut microbiota, we've got a lot of good probiotics and a lot of good fiber, and we're really humming digestively. We're having 2 to 3, sometimes 4 bowel movements a day, easy process and flow, minimal bloating, minimal constipation, minimal odor. That is a good, healthy digestive process. Most of us, unfortunately, don't achieve that. So this is where it gets a little tricky. We want to achieve gut balancing. And by balancing our gut, we're ultimately enhancing our immune system. Over 80% of our immune health is derived in our gut, in our digestive health. So if we are looking at the toenails or the scalp or an elbow is dealing with a fungus, we have to look deeper. So the external we're going to be dealing with, but so topically we're dealing with it, but internally we have to resolve the systemic related either inflammation or fungus that is it's plaguing our body, and it's all derived in the gut. So I'm going to recommend a few products here at Organixx that I love to recommend for my patients that are dealing with fungal conditions like toenail fungus or ringworm. 7M Plus. This is a fantastic immune supportive supplement that is rich. You can't see it here, but there are tons of supportive immune boosting supplements and adaptogenic herbs and mushrooms that are going to fortify our immune response, so that as we are healing your gut and we are dealing with that topical environment that we're trying to evict the fungus, that the immune system gets triggered and says, hey, there's a fungus here. We need to evict it. We need to go there and fight it. So that is one process here in terms of internal healing. The other process is to really bolster the gut bacteria levels. And one of my favorite super powerful, potent probiotics you're going to find here in the probiotics. This is a very, very powerful probiotic that will take root, and fortify your immune response mechanism, especially skin conditions. This is fantastic for resolving the underlying digestive microbiota floral imbalance that's leading to fungal infections that are roaming through not only the blood, but we're seeing it on the skin. And just a short little note here, I used to work in a clinic where we would do little pinprick blood draws, and we would scope them. We put it was called live blood analysis, and we would put a little dab of your blood in between 2 glass slides, and we'd put it in a microscope, and we would look at your white blood cells, we look at your red blood cells, we look at the form of them, how healthy are they clumped together, are you dehydrated, are you getting enough protein? There are all these awesome things that we can find out by looking at your blood. One of the things, Dawn, that we would see fungus roaming through in between the white blood cells and the red blood cells. And so systemically, meaning whole system wide, fungus that's presenting as toenail fungus and ringworm, or even, we see fungus here, and some people get in the scalp and sometimes even in the ears. We have to resolve that systemic inflammation, but particularly systemically, this is a digestive imbalance. That's the root. So we're going to resolve toenail fungus and ringworm by topically addressing every day, doing your apple cider vinegar soak with Epsom salts, and then cleansing those areas with colloidal silver soap. And at the end, you add in your tea tree oil. I like to apply with carrier oil right to the nail bed, a drop or 2 with a little almond oil or coconut oil, even better, super antimicrobial. That will be really potent for helping resolve that topical environment while you add in the functional mushrooms and the probiotics. So I love these 2 products plus the topical tea tree oil. I hope that's helpful. Just remember, I want to set the right expectation here. There is no magic quick fix overnight remedying of fungus. It takes months. but just do it every day. And I promise you, by month 3 to 5 is when you start to notice, the nail color is improving, the bed itself from where the new nail growth is growing, it's healthier. It might even start growing a little faster. And even you might notice a lessening of the odor from your feet or your socks. So stick with it. Don't give up on your body, and know you can resolve this internally and externally.